Welcome on back, everybody, to episode 136 of Streaming with the Mouse, where today we are talking about Marvel Studios essentially breaking the internet with a bunch of awesome San Diego Comic-Con news. Definitely won the weekend for San Diego Comic-Con. Sit back, relax. This is Streaming with the Mouse. Welcome on back, everybody, to Streaming with the Mouse. My name's Cameron Ramos, and joining me, as always, is the Feige to my Kevin. Cliff, say hello to nice people. I didn't have a good one.
And you said mine stunk last time.
Well, that was a bad one. It was a bad one.
You made a good point that Marvel Studios broke the internet, and DC was there.
And they were there. But the whole H to my Kevin Feige, that would have been a good one.
There we go.
That would have been better, at least.
And
Cliff, Marvel stole the weekend. They absolutely stole the weekend, crushed DC, which I hate that they crushed DC because I want DC to succeed, but my God, they just absolutely crushed them with news. Crushed Star Wars with news too. Hopefully some more stuff for Star Wars coming out D23 and even some more Marvel stuff, but this is a Marvel-centric episode today. I know you have a little bit of news which we'll talk about, but holy cow, what a weekend.
I want to not correct you, but point out, at least with your Star Wars comment, it's not like Star Wars didn't have their biggest event of the year a month ago, where they which is what Marvel does for D23, which I believe is going to be like, we're talking today about a lot of stuff that was confirmed, but there's not a lot of details. Where I think at D23
that's a great point.
We're going to get castings and yada yada yada. But yes, there are news. The first one is this is new old news. We officially have confirmation on the lead actress in Star Wars: The Acolyte. It will be Amandla Stenberg, who has been in a lot of things. People mainly know. I mean, my first introduction to her, she was Rue in the Hunger Games.
Oh, that's who that is. That's cool.
Who that is. And I kind of, it's been a bad joke. I decided not to, it's not bad, but I decided not to tweet that they should have Jack Quaid in the show also, so he can either get her twice, because Jack Quaid, who's the main character, one of the main characters in The Boys, his first acting debut was killing Rue in the Hunger Games. So they should bring him in for the Acolyte to either
You're right. I'm glad you didn't tweet
and get revenge, or vice versa. But other than that, Disney Plus, I did tweet this. Disney Plus is on the full-on attack on nostalgia. They know exactly what they're doing, and they do it so well. It is officially confirmed that Disney Plus will be home to the new Aragon adaptation for a TV show. Have you read these books? Did you read these books?
I own the first book. I've never opened it up in my life. My mom thought it had something to do with Harry Potter because it had a dragon on it, so she just assumed all fantasy was Harry Potter. I never opened it up once.
It has a really creepy looking dragon. It has a very human-like looking face on it.
Is Aragorn the name of the dragon or the person? I don't know. I could not tell you.
I didn't read it, but this officially kind of caps off our middle school era of movies, or of books to screen adaptation. The first one that was confirmed was the Spiderwick Chronicles, which is still in pre-production at Disney Plus. We have Percy Jackson, which is actively filming, and we were just given probably an early 2024 release date. And now we have Aragon, which kind of maps it out. Obviously, Hunger Games doesn't count in there because they were done correctly the first time. And we're actually getting the prequel, but not through Disney Plus. That's through Lionsgate. But that is it for news, because the news is the episode.
Yeah, and we're just going to go down the list, talk about release dates, talk about new projects. Some of those projects we already knew about. Some of these release dates we even knew about.
One more piece
we got
of
some
news.
First look.
One more piece of news. This is a week old at this point. But the fact that we have confirmation that Miss Marvel actress Iman Vellani has a burner account on Reddit and argues with people on Marvel Studios Reddit pages about the MCU is absolutely incredible. That's the news for. That's the
Didn't
best
know
news.
that. That's amazing.
So
somebody's gonna find that. All right, Cliff, should we get into it?
Let's do this.
Okay. First things first, let's get this one out of the way. So we have a new confirmation for the name of the current saga in the MCU. We obviously had the Infinity War saga that went all the way from Iron Man back in 2008 all the way to Spider-Man No Way Home. Not No Way Home, excuse me. Far From Home, I should say. That was the end of the Infinity Saga. Then COVID happened. We got Black Widow coming out in 2021. Yeah, 2021. And that was the start of what we now know as Phase 4. There will be 3 phases in the saga, just like the first saga. It will be called the Multiverse Saga, and there will be Phase 4, 5, and 6. This Multiverse Saga will go from 2021 up until the end of 2025, November 2025. So a lot shorter time period than it was back for the first phase. The Infinity Saga went from 2008 up to 2019. So obviously a lot shorter. I'm interested. I think the amount of projects is the same. What helps is obviously the MCU is a lot bigger, more popular now. We have the Disney Plus series, so you can have more series and have this go a little bit quicker. Phase 4 will wrap up this year in November with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And we will talk about what is going to wrap up for Phase 6. Most of the news we got for this for the San Diego Comic-Con in Hall H, and we're going to talk about Friday's news as well. Most of that will be coming, or the news is from Phase 5, but just cool stuff. So this is officially the Multiverse Saga, Cliff, and what are your thoughts on that?
Shocking. Right?
Makes sense.
Who knew that it would have been multiverse?
What are your thoughts on the quickness of pace of this whole thing? So 2021 to 2025, 4 years, that's it, and we have a whole saga here.
I say it's about time, almost, mainly due to the fact that it feels like the beginning of this phase really has been a lot of not drawn out. That's the wrong word, but there's been a lot of stuff. And it feels like we haven't made a ton of progress. But now seeing the full map out of what's left, it feels a lot better.
But when you think of Phase 1, that was a lot of lay the groundwork. Even Phase 2 was a lot of lay the groundwork for the bigness of Phase 3. So like you said, stuff isn't adding up right now, but it's bits and pieces are. Obviously, we had He Who Remains in Loki, and we're going to build to Kang, obviously, in a little bit. But
the thing is, and you were right, there's a lot of buildup originally with Phase 1, Phase 2, but they didn't have TV shows. They didn't have
and that's
shows
a whole nother ballgame.
That were double, triple, quadruple the time length of a single movie that felt drawn out in itself. So that's the thing. And I think they're still working on it. There's been some news. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of FX news. It's not too great coming out finally. Hopefully they can get unionized and get fair work hours. But it's finally picking up. I feel like Moon Knight and Miss Marvel were very good to kind of push us into what's coming, because it's going to be a roller coaster from here on out.
Yeah, for sure. Next piece of news that we got, this isn't really news. We knew that She-Hulk was going to be the second to next project that will be being released, so it's coming out August 17th. We knew that, but we did get a trailer. We learned a lot in that trailer. First thing, we see how Jennifer most likely got her powers. It looks like she was in some sort of accident, maybe a car accident with Bruce. They both got banged up. Blood was exchanged. That's how she got her powers. In the comics, I believe she got her powers because she was helping either give blood to help save Bruce, or Bruce was giving blood to save her, I believe.
Bruce was giving it to her.
To her, that makes more sense, obviously, and that's how she got the Hulk blood. So it looks like there's going to be some sort of blood, mix up here with maybe cuts or bruises or scrapes or whatnot, and that's how she's going to get her powers. That's one thing we learned. 2, which I'm very excited for, we get a lot of fourth wall breaking, which is very in line with the comics, especially the Dan Slott run. Shout out to Dan Slott. He won an Ink Pot Award at San Diego Comic-Con, so that was really cool. One of my favorite comic book writers. I know a lot of people have mixed opinions on him, but I like him a lot. Third big thing, and obviously this is going to be the big news for me, for anybody that's listening to this podcast for any amount of time, we confirmed Charlie Cox is back in the MCU for the first time in his Daredevil costume. Obviously, we got him as straight up Matt Murdock, the lawyer, in No Way Home. And it looks like it's the OG yellow, black, and red costume, which I could not be more excited about. I cannot wait to own this action figure. Funko Pop. I don't think he'll be in this series much, but he's going to be in it at least a little bit, because we get him flipping over Jennifer Walters when she's all hulked out. Very excited. Could not be more excited about this addition. Finally, Daredevil comes back to the MCU. Again, I know we had Matt Murdock, but can't wait. Any thoughts on all this stuff, Cliff?
They definitely look like they fixed the CGI. She looked better.
She looked way better, which we figured would happen.
Hopefully.
We hoped she, that's fair.
Hopefully,
that's fair.
And it looks like she did. It looks like it's going to be a fun show, for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be... I liked how they had that trailer where she kind of called people out, like, "Oh, this isn't a show of cameos every couple minutes, except for so and so and so and so and so and so."
Yeah.
And I think if there's going to be someone outside of Daredevil that breaks the fourth wall, I feel like She-Hulk is the right choice.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see how it does. I am excited to see Mark Ruffalo get a little bit more forward-facing screen time as maybe not the main, but important in the story for a longer period of time. Obviously, he did the snap, but like more than just Hulk stuff.
Yeah. One fun thing is they also had a cool poster where it had Jennifer Walters sitting on like a bench that would have like a lawyer advertisement on it. There's a phone number on the bench, Cliff. I don't know if you called it, but it's 1-877 She-Hulk. 1-877 She-Hulk. I of course called it. I wanted to see if it worked. It did work. It's very funny. It's maybe like 2 minutes long, maybe even a little bit less. I didn't really time it, but very funny little add-on to the project kind of thing. So just a little fun thing if anybody wants to try giving that a call. Pretty fun. But yeah, so She-Hulk, I'm getting more excited about it. I'm getting way more excited about it. The fact that it's coming soon. I think I just wasn't really in the mindset for it because I was all obsessed with Miss Marvel and Thor Love and Thunder. I think a big part of my excitement is obviously my favorite like comic book superhero, top 3 at least, is some sort of variation of Batman, Spider-Man, and Daredevil. So the fact that we are getting Daredevil back, Save Daredevil has been saved. Very excited to have that, even if it's a little bit, because obviously we get some more news later. But anything else on She-Hulk, Cliff?
What was I? Oh, I would say that the people saying that Phase 4 hasn't been meshing well. Wong has been the bridge for everything. Wong continues to be the bridge of this phase, and it's great.
Yeah. Which is pretty exciting too. So, and he's in this as well. He was in that trailer. So I love my guy Wong. So a lot of people say like Iron Man is the heart of the first saga. A lot of people are saying Doctor Strange. No. It is the Sorcerer Supreme Wong.
Exactly.
Next things up. So Phase 4 will end with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I want to save that one for the end. So it looks like the first project of Phase 5. This is a project we already knew about it, but now we have not a release date, but a release time frame. And I don't even know technically if this is going to be the first project of Phase 5, but the first Disney Plus project of Phase 5 is going to be Secret Invasion. It'll be streaming on Disney Plus in spring 2023. Unaware if it's going to be before or after Quantumania for the first project in Phase 5. My guess is Quantumania will be the first project since that's in February, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. People in Hall H got to see a little bit of some clips that was not released to the public. They described the show as intense and a political thriller, which has me very pumped up. Seems like a very big, high-stakes drama. Obviously, we have Nick Fury. We have Talos in this as well. Very excited for Secret Invasion and how this may help extend what happens in Phase 5 and even Phase 6. So, any thoughts on Secret Invasion, Cliff? Again, not much news, but at least we know when it's coming out.
We did get confirmation Colby Smulders is coming back officially as Maria Hill.
Or is she? Could she be? Could she be? Yep, we don't know. But I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm guessing yes. But the other two interesting casts, we know that Emilia Clarke is playing someone. It is expected that she is going to be the Queen Skrull. And we know that Olivia Colman is also joining as a longtime former partner of Nick Fury. We have not been given confirmation who it is yet. But on top of that, we also had confirmation that Everett Ross, played by Martin Freeman, will be in it, as well as Don Cheadle reprising his role as Rhodey.
Yes.
So getting up there is something very interesting. This seems like this is going to be a big show for it.
Yeah. Next news we got, this is probably the movie I'm most looking forward to in Phase 5, I would say, so far. Obviously, there's going to be more released and whatnot, but Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania will release on February 17th, 2023. I think we knew that date already. This will be the first theater release of Phase 5, now that we know Phase 4 will conclude with Wakanda Forever. In some clips that we saw, we got Kang the Conqueror, which will be his debut in the MCU. Obviously, we had Jonathan Majors as He Who Remains, but this is going to be the Kang, it seems like, or if not the Kang, one of the Kangs who will actually F some stuff up, which is exciting. MODOK will be in it, which is really, really cool. MODOK's a cool villain. An awesome poster release that had Ant-Man, Kang, which Kang looked like comic book Kang, which was huge for me, Wasp, and who we can assume is Cassie Lang, who looks like
I think she's in Cassie Lang.
Yeah, it has to be. I just don't want to say for sure because she has a helmet on.
Well, it's actually confirmed. IMDb tagged Catherine Newton in the poster.
Oh, they did? Okay. So obviously we do have a new Cassie Lang with Catherine Newman. She's in a purple costume that looks like a little bit like Ant-Man, a little bit like Wasp. I'm assuming, and many people are assuming, that is the Stinger costume from the comics, because she has played 2 different superhero names, so this will look like Stinger because Stinger had a purple suit. Jonathan Majors looks sick in the poster. People were really pumped about the Hall H footage. Said Jonathan Majors is going to be a awesome big bad as King the Conqueror. It seems like it follows the story of Ant-Man, aka Scott Lang, being a little too high and mighty himself, a little into the fame, which we kind of got with his podcast that Kamala Khan mentions in her series in Ms. Marvel. He also has like a autobiography book with a big like Scott Lang face on the cover. That was like the only picture I've seen from the footage. People said it looked really, really cool, and they're excited for Jonathan Majors.
Well, like Kevin Feige said, if there's anyone who is going to put the weight of the multiversal saga on, it's Jonathan Majors,
which is huge.
I am wondering. Yes, he is going to be a great Kang because he's great in every role he takes on. I really want to know if Bill Murray is MODOK.
I would assume that if he was, we probably would have like figured that out by now. Like, because people said Bill Murray was in it.
He's definitely in it. He's confirmed in it.
Like, I feel like we would know if he was MODOK or not, but maybe we don't. So I'm excited to see. I know we're gonna get that footage eventually. I'm really hoping by D23 we get at least a snippet of that footage. I do like that the people that are there in Hall H get to see stuff that we don't get to see. But as somebody who can't afford to go to San Diego Comic-Con and doesn't get to be at Hall H, I'm obviously jealous. So I hope we get a little bit of something besides the poster. But the poster was pretty cool to get for now.
Yeah. I'm guessing we'll get something at D23. It's pretty obvious, I think, at this point.
Yeah. Next up, we got Guardians, May 5th, 2023. We knew about this. What we got confirmation of is that the High Evolutionary is the big bad of this this movie. That was kind of people's thought on it. I apologize, I can't pronounce his name, but Chukwudi Iwuji is confirmed as the High Evolutionary. He was fantastic in Peacemaker as one of the butterflies. Sorry, spoiler alert, but sorry, that's my bad. But he was fantastic in that series, and if he has that level of intensity in this, I'm excited for it. The pictures of the costume I did not think looked great, but I had to remind myself the lighting in Hall H probably sucks. People's cameras suck. I'm sure on the big screen it's going to look fine. The one thing I wish he had that High Evolutionary mask, but it is what it is.
Everything they do now is CGI.
They'll probably put that on.
The entire Black Bolt suit was CGI. It's absolutely he has all like the headpieces, everything. There's going to be a mask there that's probably going to turn on and off like Star-Lord's.
Yeah, that would be a good guess, Cliff. This is going to explore Rocket's origin. We're going to see Baby Rocket. I'm going to feel weird if that's going to be a toy like Baby Yoda and Baby Groot, because
and you'll probably
Rocket has a messed up story where we are assuming the High Evolutionaries who created Rocket. Rocket has been said by everyone on the cast, basically, and James Gunn, that he is the heart of this story. He has the saddest story, and this is going to explain it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, this is going to be an 11 of how much this movie is going to break my heart. The Guardians cast and crew that was on stage at Hall H were very emotional when they were showing the scenes and little clips and whatnot, and people were raving about the footage that was shown as much as Quantumania. But I'm obviously excited for this movie to actually crush my soul, take a bite of my heart, spit it out, and stomp on it. I can't wait. I love the Guardians, man.
I saw someone recorded the teaser trailer they showed, and it looks pretty sick.
Adam Warlock was in it. That was one thing you got to see.
You did for 2 seconds. You saw like a close up of his head, but Will Poulter definitely looks the part for this. Which he's come a long way from the Chronicles of Narnia, Voyage of the Dawn Treader. But yeah, this feels like the right amount to end. It feels like this is a good time to kind of wrap up the Guardians in a big bow and break everyone's heart.
Now, do you think this is the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy? I know everybody's saying this is the end of the Guardians of this iteration of Guardians of the Galaxy. I think we're going to get more Guardians eventually. I just think it'll be different team members and maybe a different multiverse. It's too big of a project and too big of an IP, I think, to just get rid of Guardians forever. I mean, we have a new freaking Captain America movie coming out that's not Steve Rogers, which is awesome, and I'm happy they're doing that. So I hope they do the same thing for Guardians as well. So we'll see how that works out.
I think we will. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Guardians might be done solo movie-wise, but they still might be coming back for other stuff. I could picture them coming back for the Avengers, but I could picture Guardians Volume 3 being the last Guardians we see for at least 5 years.
I agree with that. Maybe like that will be part of the next phase or next saga, I guess. But
yeah,
cool. Echo has a not official release date, but at least a release time frame, summer 2023. Spoiler alert, Kingpin is not dead. He did not die at the end of Hawkeye, which we expected. Vincent D'Onofrio will be returning as well as Charlie Cox, so we will have Kingpin and Daredevil in this series. Again, love Daredevil. Anytime you put him in something, I'm excited for it. I didn't say this for She-Hulk, but I really hope that Charlie and Vincent don't overshadow Echo, and I hope Charlie doesn't overshadow Jennifer Walters / She-Hulk. I don't think they will. I think Marvel does a good job at that, but still excited to have it, knowing I thought Echo was a really cool character, and the fact that Daredevil is going to be part of this because they have such big comic book ties, I think is really great as well. So I'm more excited about Daredevil being in this than I am in She-Hulk.
I'd say let's tie in both Daredevil newses in this, because I have a theory that I saw that I want to talk about. I mean, I think putting them together makes sense.
Probably the third biggest news I thought out of D23, but my most excited for, I would easily say, is that in 2024 we will have 18 episodes. I know we've been complaining about the 6-episode structure. 18 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio will also be reprising their roles in this. This is the project I'm most pumped for, and I think it's the third coolest news that's came out of Hull H, and we'll talk about 1 and 2 in a little bit, but holy cow, we knew a Daredevil show was going to come. We knew Charlie Cox was not going to just not be in a Daredevil show. He was not going to make just these solo appearances. The fact that it's 18 episodes is fantastic. I'm really interested to see how they release it, if it'll be like 2 or 3 episodes a week, or if it will be 18 straight weeks of new Daredevil content, which I'm all for. But I'm excited, man. I'm so pumped. You know how much I love this comic book character. Daredevil Born Again is a huge, probably one of the best Marvel storylines ever. I don't know if it will be based off the Born Again comics, but it's cool that they're using the name at least, and obviously it makes sense because it's Daredevil being born again this time into the MCU officially, as opposed to the Netflix show. I'm interested to see if this show helps, as well as She-Hulk and Echo, if they help tie in. Where does the Netflix fall in this whole thing? Is it different a multiverse? Universe. Is it something?
They're definitely a different universe. They've got to be at this point.
But I'm excited, and from what it sounds like, this is not going to be an origin story. They're going to hit the ground running, assuming probably that you watched Netflix, I'm assuming. But Cliff, your thoughts on this?
Yes. First off, with Echo, I hope that it's going to be blind Kingpin. I think that would be a lot more like vengeful and like dealing with all that. And I think
that'd be kind of cool.
Daredevil is going to be a good mentor to Echo. I think that's really what it's going to be. I read a theory online that I really liked, that Phase 5 is going to be a loose adaptation of Dark Reign, which, if people don't know that, it's I believe it's Osborn becomes mayor of New York, like a reformed Osborn, but instead of it being him, it's going to be Kingpin becoming mayor of New York, pretending to be better, and still running all the shady deals around, which I think that would be really cool. And it forces Daredevil's back against the wall, with he's now, his number one nemesis is in charge of the city he's sworn to protect. That's what I'm hoping. 18, I'm very shocked. I think you have to do it justice and do it at least at a TV-14 rating.
Mm-hmm.
At least. I hope. And I think they will. I think whenever, I mean, it sounds like this will not come before, what's it called? Deadpool 3.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like
and I think that would have tested the waters a lot better. But they did just put Daredevil or Deadpool on Netflix.
Disney Plus.
Or Disney Plus. So they could, maybe. I think they're going to wait and test the waters and see how well he does. I think She-Hulk, you're going to have a very tame Daredevil. In Echo, he's going to be a little bit more, and they're going to test how much people are willing to watch it, and then that'll determine how Daredevil Born Again is.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm pumped for this. I think we are definitely going to get a Mayor Kingpin or Mayor Fisk storyline eventually. Definitely help him. Like, he's been obviously introduced to Hawkeye, both Kate and Clint, and he's going to be an Echo show, so he's probably going to run on some like stop these like mass superhero kind of thing, so that'll be exciting. But no, obviously that's how I think it will go. We'll see if it actually does, but I do think we're gonna get Mayor Kingpin, which I love a good Mayor Kingpin.
Exactly.
The next two that we have are just release dates. There's literally no news with it, so they're gonna be quick. But Loki Season 2 will be coming out in summer 2023. Blade gets a release date of November 3rd, 2023. I have nothing to say except I'm super interested about Blade. I'm super excited about Loki Season 2. We'll see how those go, with obviously the showrunner and the director, Kate Herron, not being part of Season 2, so I'm wondering if that's going to keep up the same steam, and I hope it does. I think it will. But excited to see how Loki Season 2 will play into, especially with Kang the Conqueror and his storyline and what's going to happen next.
Yeah, it's just going to be what's coming, and we don't have enough about it right now. Yep.
Next we got is Ironheart will be fall 2023. There was nothing really big for Ironheart except for Ironheart. We get Riri Williams' first look of her in the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer. We also got a new Funko Pop that shows her Mark 1 armor. So that's the only real big Ironheart news we got. It was just the date, and then we get our first look, but it's within Wakanda Forever, not a look at Ironheart, the TV show, because it seems like they haven't filmed it yet, which makes sense. No. Mark 1 armor looks sick, at least in the Funko Pop. I've also seen some images of like toy packaging. Looks awesome. We don't hear her speak or do anything besides dap Shuri up in the trailer and hammer out the little heart that I'm assuming is going to be part of her chest plate. But I am very excited for Riri Williams, and I'm excited to see her at Black Panther.
Yes, and I believe we got something. I don't know if this is for Black Panther or for her show, where it says, it doesn't say what, it just says Riri Williams is the first person to make the newest form of an Iron Man suit since Tony Stark. That's all it says.
So which Riri is super smart, so it makes sense that she could do that.
And I hope, because it's going to take place at MIT, I would really think it's cool to tie it in that she was in the she was at MIT when Tony greenlit everyone's projects, and this was her dissertation project that Tony Stark funded himself, and that's why. And like it ends up tying back to Tony being the one that ended up contributing to it when he was on his humanitarian effort, and that would be cool because then you can also show her in the crowd watching it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's really cool that her Mark 1 armor looks so much better than Tony's, which is obviously funny, but it's also pretty cool, so I'm excited for this one. Next up we have is the Agatha TV show. We got two big things with this. One is the release, so it's going to be winter 23, winter 24, so my guess is a Christmas time release that will bleed into 24. Also, I thought the original name sucked. It was Agatha House of Harkness. It will now be called Agatha Coven of Chaos, which I think is way, way better. So I'm excited about the name change. Excited we got some release dates, so that's going to be a nice little wintry kind of release that when we're all cold up in here in Massachusetts and New England, we get to settle down and watch Agatha just go chaos on everything. So I'm excited for that.
I'm interested to see what it's going to be. Like, we still don't know truly what it's about. We know it's about her. I hope we get some flashbacks to her, like when she was learning how to be a witch. And I think it would be fun if the ending is we finding out that Scarlet Witch lives and she breaks Agatha out to help her kind of redeem herself. Like, so what's her name? Wanda can redeem herself.
Get her powers in check kind of thing, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up, we get Captain America 4, which we knew was coming out, but we didn't know when. We didn't know what it was going to be called. So this one, just real quick. May 3rd, 2024, the Captain America 4 movie comes out. It will be called Captain America New World Order, with Sam Wilson as Captain America, as he should be, which is really, really exciting. This is actually one of the episode titles for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. One of the episodes was called New World Order, so I'm interested to see.
There's also a comic line.
Yes, it was. Yes. So I'm interested to see this. I love Captain America so much, whether it's Steve Rogers or Sam Wilson. So I'm very excited for this. So anything on that, Cliff? Besides,
Agreed.
The name's cool.
Obviously, this is a theatrical release, not a Disney Plus release, but I'm glad we finally got confirmation when it's happening.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's gonna be huge. Next up, we got Thunderbolts. This will be a Phase 5 release. It is a movie, not a TV show. I think there was a couple. I think for the most part, we all knew it was a movie, but I think there were some things that were saying, oh no, it might be a TV show, but it is going to be a movie releasing on July 26, 2024. I'm excited to see this. I'm interested to see how they put the Thunderbolts together. Like, obviously, we have bits and pieces with Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character in some of the shows.
I don't think
and the movies as well.
I don't think any of them are going to be a part of it. Because
really?
It's called a group of supervillains are recruited to go on a mission for the government. Elena is not a supervillain. She's an anti-hero. What's his name? U.S. Agent is not a supervillain. He's an anti-hero. Zemo, I think, will be it. We have not seen him.
I get what you're saying.
We have not seen him become a supervillain yet. Supposedly, Sadie Sink is in negotiation to join. There's some speculation that she's going to be Songbird or Mock.
Why do I know who is Sadie Sink? Why do I know who that is?
Stranger Things, the redhead.
Oh, yes, Max.
So
okay,
cool. She is going to be one of the headliners of this movie. So we shall wait and see. But I would say we need a dramatic change in definition of what the Thunderbolts is, or a dramatic change in characters from Elena and U.S. Agent.
Yeah. So that's really it for Phase 5 news that came out. The Phase 6 news, and I do want to go back to Phase 4 with Black Panther, but again, I want to save that kind of toward the end. But Fantastic Four will be, it looks like, potentially the first project of Phase 6. It will release on November 8th, 2024. That is the only news we got on that, the fact that it's in Phase 6 and the release date. We still don't have a director announcement after the last director left, and we have no cast announcement. A lot of people, including myself, are expecting and speculating that in D23 in a couple months, that's when we're going to get those two big key pieces of news. Who's the cast, who's the director, and that's what I think. It's awesome we finally have a date for this. This has obviously been teased since, I think, 2020's Disney Investors Day. I think it was 2020. It might have been 2021. But, and obviously we had John Krasinski play Mr. Fantastic in Multiverse of Madness. I do not think he will be the Mr. Fantastic in this movie, which I'm fine with. I think he might be one of the Mr. Fantastics. Like, I'm expecting, like, the Hall of Reed or whatever they call it to happen in this movie. So I'm excited to see that. But Cliff, your thoughts on that?
There have been two names floating around, really only two names floating around for potential directors. One of them is Steven Spielberg, who I'm very much
pretty cool
for.
Yep.
And the other is Bryce Dallas Howard, who supposedly, if she was the director, she would also be Sue Storm. And we were told that Fantastic Four was not going to be an origin story. This is either going to go really well or really bad. There's no in between in this. Joe Keery is tied to Johnny Storm, who is Steve in Stranger Things, who I would be very happy with. And the other name outside of John Krasinski that is tied to Mr. Fantastic right now is Penn Bagley, who is the lead actor in You.
I've also seen for the guy who plays Marshall, I can't think of his name right now, might be The Thing. And supposedly that might be something happening.
That seems always fan casted.
And supposedly it might be happening in She-Hulk. Obviously that's big speculation, and I don't like to put that out there, but I kind of like that.
We also had big speculation that the Inhuman dog was going to be in Miss Marvel, so we can... Oh,
speaking of dogs, Cosmo is going to be in Guardians 3. I forgot about that. Yes, and
it's being played by the girl from Borat 2. Maria Baklova is playing
Talks about that.
Cosmo the space dog.
People were losing their shit on Twitter. Dummies. It's language. A dog. Who cares? Sorry.
But yeah, Fantastic Four is, I think, going to be the headliner of D23.
Yes, unless these two next things. So I said Daredevil was my most hyped that I got excited for. I think the two biggest pieces of news we got is that we're not getting just one Avengers movie. We are getting two, and we are getting them within 6 months of each other. So we are getting in 2025, May 2nd, 2025, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. We are also getting on November 7th, 2025, Avengers: Secret Wars. These will be the first 2 Avengers movies since Avengers Endgame in 2019. Secret Wars will cap off Phase 6. So we do know that Marvel has projects through 2030. So the fact that that means that they have a 3rd saga ready to plan. I thought this whole time that the second saga was going to go all the way to 2030. It is done in 2025, ending with Secret Wars. Kang Dynasty sounds so ominous and so awesome. Secret Wars is one of the biggest comic storybook lines in comics history. So the fact that we're getting that is awesome. This is also going to be in the same phase as Fantastic Four. So you're going to get Avengers. You're going to get Fantastic Four. Very excited about this. I cannot wait. What I'm really interested for is how Secret Wars will work, because I really thought they were building to like something along the lines of the Kang Dynasty. Sounds more in line what I thought this would be capped off of, like this saga, Multiverse Saga's Endgame. But it seems like we're going to get Secret Wars will be the one that caps it off, which is awesome. I think a lot of people thought there was going to be more cameos and whatnot in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and we're disappointed that there weren't all those cameos. I didn't really care. I think Secret Wars is where we're getting the kitchen sink on variants of our heroes. Like, that could easily be Tom Cruise Iron Man. We could get RDJ. I don't know. We could get a bunch of people back as different Iron Mans, Black Panthers, and all this other stuff. And I'm interested to see how that comes around to maybe rebooting the MCU a little bit, where maybe we're going to get heroes back like Iron Man and not just Ironheart, and a new Black Panther that isn't Shuri or Nakia or something like that. So like a new T'Challa. I'm very excited for that. It's one of the coolest comic book storylines of all time. Drove a lot of toy sales back in the day when that came out. I'm going to buy all the Funko Pops, so saving my money up for 2025 before the World Cup comes in 2026 to Boston. So very excited for it. But Cliff, your thoughts?
So wait, Secret Wars is when, isn't it like the multiversal crash where New York becomes like, or the
Beyonder takes all the heroes and like pits them against each other.
Yeah. So the Kang Dynasty, this is going to be really cool. I'm excited to see the build up to it.
Yeah.
I am only going to talk quickly about the director of the Kang Dynasty. It's going to be Destin Daniel Cretton, who was Shang-Chi's director. Very good hands. I think he has to direct both, though. I'm going to take a wild guess. I think you have to, especially because you have to film this whole movie. Both movies are filmed at the same time. You're not filming like one then the other.
Yeah, kind of like Infinity War and Endgame had bits and pieces of both filming at the same time, so we'll be interested. Yeah. We'll see. I'll skip to this part. The last thing that they showed at Comic-Con was the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer. That was released online, as well as the She-Hulk one. I cried the first time I watched it. The music, the visuals, everything was just... It looks like this is going to be spectacular. I think this was the best trailer in MCU history. It's that good. Not a lot of dialogue in it. We do get the backside of a new Black Panther suit in the end. What did you think of the trailer? Who do you think's in the Black Panther suit? Because we don't know. I think Shuri's too obvious. I really think and hope it will be Nakia as Black Panther. But Cliff, what do you think is happening? It looked awesome. Namor looks cool. Everything looked good.
It's a beautiful trailer. It looks like... I have no clue what's going on in the movie. I mean, we know it's going to be the war between... Supposedly it's not called Atlantis, but whatever.
Which I'm fine with.
I am going to put this out there. I think this movie is fine to mourn T'Challa and mourn Chadwick Boseman. Going forward, it's time to recast T'Challa after this movie.
I don't like that word, though. Because I'm anti-recasting T'Challa in this universe.
Yes, I think you need to bring in a new... You have to bring in a Black Panther that lost his world or lost his universe back into this.
Yeah, if you're going to do it...
is too important
yes.
of a character to be left as like one and done. And I do think it's going to be Lupita Nyong'o's character in the suit.
Nakia, yeah.
Which I think would make a lot of sense, but it's like I think Chadwick's brother even said he would want this character to live on.
Yeah, it's too important of a character.
And it's time after this movie.
And I think when Chadwick passed away, I said I don't want to recast him. Again, I do not want Chadwick to be recast. It would be such a farce if this movie had a T'Challa in it. I would hate it. I love that this T'Challa is gone. We don't know how he's going to die, but we know he's died. First of all, also the little funeral scene. I love that everybody wears white. It makes it look like a celebration of life instead of mourning, which I love. Love that concept. But I do agree. I do want another T'Challa. I want him from a different universe, whether he comes in here in Secret Wars or something. Even if you have two Black Panthers where it's either Shuri or Nakia playing one and a new T'Challa, you can have both in the same world. I don't care. I just want a T'Challa because he's too important of a character. Nakia and Shuri as Black Panthers are also super important. So I want to keep them in too. I'm not saying this to be like, nope, I want you in this one movie as the new Black Panther and then get the hell out of here kind of thing. I just want that both. And I could never speak for Chadwick Boseman because I've never met him. But he seems like a smart guy. It seems like this is a very important character. That means a lot to people, so it's important to have a T'Challa in the world, basically.
I'm going to throw a name out. I want John David Washington as the next T'Challa for the MCU.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
That's my name in the ring.
Real quick before we get to the Friday news, so this is the Hall H news, the big one. The Friday news we're going to fly through real quick. Projects that were not mentioned, one of them was Armor Wars. However, either the director or the writer still confirms it's coming out on his Instagram stories. We didn't get anything about the X-Men. My little theory, I want to put it into the world now, is I think that's going to be the third saga, is the mutants. Also, there's a crap ton of movies that wasn't announced in Phase 6, so I think we will probably get something there. But I think it would be cool if we get nothing about mutants in this saga, and that's going to be the big thing in...
we have a mutant in the last 3 TV show.
You know what I mean, though, Cliff. We're not going to get like an X-Men movie or Wolverine. I don't want any of that. I think it'd be kind of cool if we wait. If we have to wait till 2026 to get mutants, I'm fine with it.
We are supposedly waiting because Fox producers are dragging their feet. That was the report this morning.
Some other things we did not get, which I think, again, will happen in D23's Eternals 2, a new Spider-Man movie, Season 2 of Moon Knight and or Miss Marvel, and a Shang-Chi sequel. Or we did not get any of those. I would have to guess those are going to be eventually coming and maybe in Phase 6. But I also don't think you want to have a bunch of sequels in Phase 6. So I don't really know, but we'll see if those happen. We'll see. We'll have to listen to D23. But anything else you're missing that you're like, oh, I can't believe we didn't get that?
I think it all makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe we'll get one more Thor thing in there. I don't know. But switching back from, are you good for Hall H? It was
I'm good.
Literally, I was at the Mets game. It was blowing up my phone. I was pumped about it. Real quick, just want to touch on this. We got some animation news as well. So the next Marvel Studios project that will be streaming is I Am Groot, which are shorts. Those will start up on August 10th, the week before She-Hulk premieres. The trailer looks adorable. People got to watch, I think, the first short, and they absolutely loved it. Anything we can get of Baby Groot, I'm all for. Any thoughts on that, Cliff? The Funkos look great, by the way, too.
I'm honestly not that excited for I Am Groot. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not
clamoring for it like I am. Yeah, no, I think I'm more excited for She-Hulk, but also I like for little shorts of Groot. Yeah, I'm for it. It's fine.
Freshman year sounds interesting.
Freshman year releases in 2024. It is confirmed this is a multiverse story. It will include Harry and Norman Osborn, Doctor Strange, Daredevil, voiced by Charlie Cox, who looks awesome in his black suit, Amadeus, who is a version of Hulk, Nico from The Runaways. The animation looks beautiful. It looks very comic booky. Peter Parker's prototype Spider-Man suit looks like a hockey jersey and these really cool web shooters that look like they're attached. I think that's going to be a huge Comic-Con cosplay one day. Must buy Funko Pop when that comes out too, with the Daredevil in all black as well. The 2024, very excited for that. Glad it's a multiverse story because I was confused about the animation and the story and all that stuff. So I'm glad it's a multiverse story. Any thoughts on that?
I think it makes sense as that now. They really hyped it up like it was an MCU project, and then they're like, just kidding, it's this now. And I'm like,
well, it's still MCU. It's just going to be a multiverse story.
I know.
What If Season 2 will release in 2023? Captain Carter from Season 1 is not the same Peggy that got sliced in half in Multiverse of Madness, so that's pretty cool. That we're going to get probably more Captain Carter, I would assume. Anything on that, Cliff?
I'm guessing we'll talk more about it when we get the trailer.
Yeah. Last two things. Marvel Zombies supposedly will be rated M. It will start on June 21st, 2024. The main protagonist of the show will be Yelena, Katie Chen, Kate Bishop, Red Guardian, Death Dealer, Kamala Khan, Shang-Chi, and Jimmy Woo, excuse me. I'm sorry. Antagonists will include a zombified Hawkeye, Ghost, which I'm excited about, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Okoye, Abomination, and Captain America. I'm assuming the Steve Rogers Captain America, but cool that it's a rated M cartoon show. We've seen that now with Harley Quinn on HBO Max as a rated mature show as well for cartoon. I don't really care about Marvel Zombies if I'm being completely honest. I don't know how excited I'll be when we have to podcast about that in 2024, but I will watch it for sure because I like the characters, at least the good guys. I'm just not a big zombie guy, but any thoughts on that, Cliff?
I am a zombie guy, and I think animation feels like the right way to do this, and especially it being rated M is going to give it the option to really go all in on it, which is going to be really cool. And getting a lot of those voices from the original actors is really good as well.
Yep. Last but not least, probably the animation news I'm most excited for, but you could argue Spider-Man freshman year would be that as well. X-Men 97 is happening. It will be 2 seasons. Magneto will be leading the X-Men, which is always really fun in the comics because obviously that does not turn out great, so excited to see that. The X-Men team, besides Magneto as the head, will include Rogue, Gambit, Wolverine, Jubilee, Cyclops, Storm, Jean Grey, and Beast. They also, probably the biggest news besides that the team up, which I really think is huge. They put the original X-Men animated show in the proper viewing order finally on Disney Plus, so you can actually watch the story instead of having to watch an episode in order, back out of it, find the next one. It's a pain in the butt. They should really do that for Clone Wars. I don't think they've done that yet because Clone Wars is also out of order story-wise, based off how they released it. They should really go back and fix that too in Disney Plus. Any thoughts on X-Men 97? I know I'm the
I've never watched
Resident
it.
X-Men here.
I've never watched
Cliff, you should really go do it.
I'll do it one day.
You do that, I'll read Percy Jackson. That's how we'll do that.
You already read the first one.
Yeah, but I mean the other ones.
Well, you said you're going to do it with each season. I can wait.
Yeah.
I have patience.
All right, Cliff. Anything else? Like I said, they actually just stole Hall H, and they stole the day before. Well, they didn't really steal the day before, but the day before, too, with the animation news is also pretty cool. But Hall H was stolen by Marvel, by Kevin Feige, by everyone there. So I'm very excited. Any final thoughts?
It looks very promising.
What's the project you're most excited for?
Oh, geez. What am I most looking forward to? I think for now, it's going to be the Secret Invasion. I think. Because I think there's so much uncertainty around it that I'm looking forward to fleshing out what's going to happen.
What was your favorite, not necessarily project, but favorite little tidbit of news that came out? So for me, it's officially confirming Daredevil is in She-Hulk in the yellow, red, and black suit, tied up there with the Baby Rocket-centric Guardians 3 movie storyline. That's confirmed too. Those are probably my 2 biggest ones.
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. I would probably say Daredevil coming into She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Just because that's also so current that it's going to be really cool. I will say it's
literally happening next month.
Exactly. So
when people are listening to this, it's happening this month.
Exactly. It's happening this month.
All right, Cliff, where can people find you if they want to talk to you about all the awesome announcements that came out of Hall H for Marvel Studios?
You can find me at CPRobinson81.
And you can find me on Twitter at CameronMost95. Please be sure to follow us and connect. Be also sure to follow at StreamTheMouse on Twitter, at Streaming with the Mouse on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to check us out on all the places you can get podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and our YouTube channel. Just search for Streaming with the Mouse Disney Plus podcast and you'll find us there. While you're there, please make sure to like, rate, review, subscribe, 5 stars, all the above to those different platforms so we can get more listeners on this and we get to talk more about Marvel with everybody and Star Wars and all the cool Disney news coming out very, very soon. But we will be back, obviously, in full force to talk She-Hulk and Andor. But thank you so much for listening, everybody. We hope you have a magical day and have a great one.
Bye, guys.